The board will now reconvene to open session. The time is 6:35. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us tonight. At this time, we respectfully ask that you turn off the sound of your cell phones. May I remind everyone wishing to address the board, they must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, indicating the agenda item or topic about which they wish to speak. As your Board of Trustees, we are here to set goals for the district, listen to reports presented by the superintendent and his designees, approve and review the budget, approve certain personnel appointments and contracts, and make policy for the district. Management is the responsibility of the superintendent. It is the board's responsibility to govern the affairs of the district and ensure that the district is moving forward and meeting the vision and goals that are set on an annual basis. Meeting times for board meetings are posted on AISD website at AbileneISD.org. The public is invited to attend. At this time, I'd like to ask Mrs. Allison Sims, Associate Superintendent for the Development of Human Resources, to lead the invocation and pledges.
Thank you. Pray with me, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for the opportunity to gather in service to our students, staff, and community. Grant us wisdom, grace, and understanding throughout this meeting. Bless our schools and all those who work each day to support, encourage our students. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
We will now move to item C, Board Superintendent announcements. Dr. Kuhn, do you have any announcements?
I've got a few here. There are some really important events coming up I want to make sure you guys on the board know about. First of all, tomorrow night, Cooper High School, 6:30 p.m., we have a special graduation for some of our students in our special programs. And then we have adult education graduation at 7 p.m. on Wednesday night. That will be at Abilene High School. Baccalaureate is on Sunday, 2 p.m. at First Baptist Church. And then on Tuesday, the 19th, we have Senior Academic Awards at Abilene High and Cooper High. They're at two different times. You could go to one and then the other, but I didn't write the times down. I think it's 8 and 10 or 8:30 and 10, something like that. That day we also have senior walks where the seniors go back to their elementary schools and walk the halls. Friday the 22nd, very important date, we have Abilene High graduation at 8 p.m. And then on the 23rd, Saturday morning, and please correct me if I get this wrong, you guys, the order, I believe Cooper High graduation is first at 8 a.m. and then Adams graduation follows at 10 a.m. And the last thing I'll mention is Monday the 25th, that is Memorial Day holiday. There will be no school. Any questions about any of those events coming up? The only other thing I'll say is kind of executive privilege is thank you for the opportunity to have led so many of these board meetings. This will be the last regular board meeting that I lead as Superintendent of Abilene Independent School District, and it is my great pleasure to turn this seat over to somebody as talented and capable as Dr. Waldron. So the next time you come to a regular board meeting for Abilene ISD, it will be Dr. Waldron sitting here, and he's going to do a great job. But I do want to thank the community and especially this board for the trust you've placed in me. And with that, I will turn it over to you to introduce the teaching minute.
Are there any other members that have announcements? Okay. All right, at this time we'll have our regular feature called the Teaching Minute, which highlights teaching and learning across the district.
I'm so proud of her. She's awesome.
Hello, my name is Michelle Hatton. I am a second grade teacher at Stafford Elementary, and this is my official second year as a classroom teacher. Today we did 2.3B, and we were working on fractions. We are teaching the students that the bigger the denominator, the smaller the fraction pieces. All right, so has everybody had a chance to take a look at their graham cracker? Our lesson today was hands-on. We were using some sweet treats, getting the kids engaged and understanding the importance of learning how to break apart, divide, and partition our food into equal parts by making fourths. Okay, someone else, what do you think? Halves. Oh, and we also did a scoot, a fraction scoot, where the students had their clipboards and they walked around and they had to find each number that aligned to their answer sheet, and they had to answer the question on the actual card that was around the classroom. I have worked for the school district, I think, for 12 or 13 years. I did library associate for 7 years. For so long, I've loved working with books and reading with the students, but I also had a love for working in the classroom and a passion for kids. So I got my bachelor's degree at McMurray University for EC through 6th grade, and it was through the Aid to Teach program, which was an opportunity for AISD staff members, and we were able to take classes in the afternoon. I have a better respect for math now, and especially the fun and hands-on and engaging ways I'm able to interact with my students to bring math to life.
All right, we'll now move to item 4, recognitions. First up is Mrs. Lucille Fullen, Director of CTE.
Good evening, everyone. Dr. Kuhn, we're going to miss seeing you right there, but Dr. Waldron, just shift places. Dr. Kuhn, Mr. Goodman, members of the board, thank you for recognizing CTE tonight. Originally, I was asked to bring in our state qualifiers, our students who ranked, but prior to that, I would first like to take a moment to recognize 3 of our Project Lead the Way teachers, who are hopefully will join me. Yeah, there we go. One couldn't be here tonight, but right here.
This way. Sorry. Usually, yeah.
That's okay. So our Project Lead the Way teachers are with our engineering program, and their dedication and leadership were instrumental in helping Adams at the Lift earn a national recognition as a distinguished PLTW, Project Lead the Way, engineering program for 25-26. Joining us tonight is Danae Volk right here, Tracy Long. Eva Strawn wasn't able to be here tonight, and I think their principal, Mr. Brandon Randall, is back here as well, and Miss Krim is back here, so thank you for being here. I'd also be remiss if I did not recognize longtime retired engineering teacher Larry Haney, who helped lay the foundation of this program from its inception. So they've done such a good work and hard work, and just really proud of them. So wanted to recognize them tonight.
Thank you, guys. And on behalf of all of us, huge congratulations on this national recognition. You deserve it. The kids deserve it. Thank y'all for building such a great program.
Are we going to do a picture? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I think I was just jumping ahead to the picture. What do you want to?
There. And Miss Krim and Mr. Reed.
All right, we all scoot this way.
Miss Earls, you can't be seen.
I got you. You're good. All right, everyone looking at me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, now we have the opportunity to recognize some truly outstanding students. We had almost 200 CTE students who advanced in their respective state competitions, including Taffy, HOSA, Skills USA, TPSA, DECA, and our VEX Robotics program. Tonight, we're going to honor the students who placed in the top 5. We're not going to bring 200 students before you, so in their respective program. Our teachers and students have dedicated countless hours to developing and refining their skills, and I appreciate their hard work and congratulate them on their accomplishments. So first up, we have our welding instructor, Dustin Moore, who will introduce his students.
Awesome. Thank y'all for having us. For y'all that I hadn't met, Mr. Moore over at the Lift. We had several projects. We built a ton of projects this year, but we had a few projects that did really good at a high level. They did great at district and advanced on to the state level, and then they received superior awards at the state level, and each kid received a blue ribbon, which was pretty amazing. The projects that were built by these students here, one was a griddle. It was a full griddle with a side station on it as well, but the big thing with the griddle is it was all TIG welded. TIG welding is one of the hardest welding processes that we teach, and to have a full project TIG welded was pretty amazing. So really proud of those. The ones that did the griddle was Adrian Frazier here, Trey Pearsall, and Noah Labonga. He's not here tonight, but we also had another project that did really good at the state level, and it's what we call a TINS gritty table. It's actually a floating table. So it's built with chains, but none of the chains are welded. So it's elevated with chains and one in the middle. So it takes a little engineering to be able to do it, but the top is not connected to the bottom besides with loose chains. So if you hit it, it moves on the top. So a floating aspect, which was pretty neat. So the engineering that went into that and the time that went into it was pretty neat as well. And that's sitting right outside of our welding shop, which is pretty cool. So if you ever get a chance to see it, it's pretty neat. The two students that built that was Cannon Adams and Peyton Valdez. Super proud of these students, really proud. They put in a lot of time, a lot of hard work in each project. It takes time to do these. It took them at least a semester to build them in class. So it takes a lot of work. So the effort that went into it, super, super proud of them. So good job, guys. Proud of y'all.
Before we take a picture, can you talk to the audience here and the board about the state of the field of welding, job opportunities that are out there? Why do we teach kids welding? What does that open up for them in the future?
Oh, sure. We have a bunch of industries that we are partners here, right here in Abilene. I could name a ton of them, like Rentec, Broadwind, BWJ, Martin Sprocket, Petra. I could keep going. Great industry individuals that help us out a ton, and they hire our students. They want to hire our students, so they're kind of coming to me, asking me as well. They're on my committees as well, but they're wanting these students. They're wanting them really bad. And all of y'all know the AI is going on, so they're taking employees from them a lot too. So they're hiring more and more every day. So right here in Abilene, it's a huge aspect for the welding industry for a student to get a job right out of school, but also stay right here in Abilene and be able to work in Abilene, stay with their family, and keep everything right here, which is pretty awesome.
Thank you for that. You guys come on up. Let's take a picture.
Bet.
Miss Earls, will you move over a little bit more, a little more. There you go. All right, looking at me. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Let's hear it for these guys.
Okay, next we have Mr. Hall and Mr. Kaplinski, and they have a group of information technology students that they'd like to recognize.
You guys look sharp.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, Board of Trustees. Dr. Kuhn, thank you for the opportunity to recognize our students. This is actually the technology group from Skills USA this year. You know, we took a good bit down to state conference, and this is mostly engineering and IT in our group. And we probably had one of the most successful years we've ever had down at the state conference. We actually had 18 students bring home medals from the state conference, and they're not all here. But 18 medals is a good bit of medals, and we had some that actually brought home a couple. Actually, just three over here actually brought back 7 just between, the 3 of them. And so that's pretty impressive. And so I'm going to run down the list as quickly as I can and kind of recognize everyone by their names. And then I want to do another special recognition for some of the students. So in cybersecurity, we have a cybersecurity team and a cybersecurity technical test. We had Manuel Aguinaga Horta and Garrett Frick that got a silver medal. They got second place out of 20 teams that are competing down there for cybersecurity. Benjamin Cardoza and Seth Davis, they got the third place team. They got a bronze down there at the state conference, which is amazing. We had with Information Technology Support and Services, Aiden Reed, who got a silver, second place. So you're looking at the second best computer maintenance guy in the state of Texas, and the second and third place cybersecurity teams in the state of Texas. Manuel Aguinaga Horta and Benjamin Cardoza and Seth Davis all medaled in the technical information testing. Manuel got a silver. Benjamin and Seth got a bronze. We also had Anthony Tomboy, who got a silver in computer programming in the technical test, and then he placed 5th out of 20 students for the state of Texas, the 5th best programmer in the state of Texas. I think that's amazing. Computer technology information testing. Ricky Royer is a freshman, and he got a gold medal in testing for computer technology. That's pretty awesome. In engineering technology and that technical information testing, Ty Estrella got a silver medal, and Blake Hale got a bronze. And so they did really, really well. So that was pretty much everyone that was here for medaling. I would like to especially recognize Benjamin, Manuel, Seth. Can you guys kind of step forward just a little bit? So they are 3 of the 4 members that went down there. Garrett Frick wasn't able to come here tonight, but they're the second and third place teams, and they also medaled in technology information testing. And the other thing that I wanted to point out is that they have been doing this now for 3 and 4 years, and it's taken them that long to actually walk the stage. They've been 4th and 5th almost every year, and so they've been working really, really hard and getting better every single year. And this year they actually placed 2nd and 3rd. We kind of had a disheartening little event that happened, is that the technical chair down there actually didn't get the correct teams on the slides. So 1st, 2nd, and place never got on a stage. Yeah, and so I just wanted to specially recognize them. I don't even have their medals yet. They sent them out last week, and we're still waiting on their medals. But they went and did their investigation, and what happened was a technical chair just didn't get the slides correct. So I really want to especially recognize them for that. The other thing that they did that they've been working on for 4 years is Cyber Patriot. And there's a lot of people that don't know that we actually compete in Cyber Patriot. They have been on the Cyber Patriot team, all 4 of them, to include Garrett, who's not here. For 4 years we've been competing in Cyber Patriot. This year they were actually in a semi-national competition. They were one of 13 teams in the gold level that actually advanced from Texas to the semi-nationals, and they were this close to going to Bethesda, Maryland in person to compete nationally in Cyber Patriot. And so that's pretty phenomenal as well, and I want to recognize that too.
Way to go, you guys. Super impressive.
So I'm just extremely, extremely proud of all these young men. Mr. Kaplinski is as well. They've worked really, really, really hard, and I just can't say enough about them. And so thank you. Thank you for letting us recognize them in front of you.
Congratulations to all of you guys. What a great job y'all have done representing Abilene ISD, representing yourselves. And I think you guys are probably going to make a lot of money in your futures working in technology. We'd love to take a picture with you. Go ahead.
I'm going to try to get them to work for the city for cybersecurity.
Y'all come on up. Let's take a picture. Congratulations to all of you.
All right, everyone looking at me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. There we go. Awesome. Thank you.
right, representing Abilene High tonight is our TAFE group. That's our Texas Association of Future Educators. And Miss Shaylee Robertson could not be here with us tonight. She had a previous commitment. But she did want me to let you know that she had 39 students that competed at the state level with 21 projects. And out of those 21 projects, 14 of them placed in the top 3. So a lot of students couldn't be here tonight. You know, it's May 11th, so everybody's busy, but 7 students qualified for nationals, and I have 2 of them here with me tonight. So these are our national qualifiers. Layla Robinson is a national qualifier in interactive bulletin board at the middle school and the high school. And Ethan Barriga is a national qualifier for lesson planning and delivery, as well as he earned a gold in project visualization for leadership. So really, really proud of them and proud that they'll be hopefully future teachers in AISD. Yeah, maybe.
I bet we got a spot for both of you.
I'll scoot over just a little. There we go. All right. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you.
Thank you for having us tonight.
All right, next up, we have the Visual Arts Scholastic event. Mr. Clay Johnson, Executive Director of Fine Arts.
Good evening, Dr. Kuhn, members of the board. I am delighted to be here this evening to share the accomplishments of our fine arts students and teachers, and today we have multiple recognitions. First, I am recognizing high school art students for their acceptance into state base, and I'd like to ask those students and teachers to go ahead and come forward at this time. The Texas Art Education Association sponsors the Visual Arts Scholastic event every year. The event's mission is to recognize exemplary student achievement in the visual arts by providing art students a program with a standard of excellence in which to achieve. The event is held in person and involves the students showing their artwork and discussing it with a juror. This year, our district had 8 students advance to compete at the statewide event with 10 artworks. As you can see, their work is being displayed on the project or projected on the screens alongside with their names. From Abilene High School, our state competitors were Sephora Ibondo, Carrie Nelson, and Holly Nolan. Their teacher is Kelly Fuller. From Cooper High School, our state competitors were Janet Galvan, Madison Halford, Candy Colche, and Regina Mantala. These students were taught by Melody Carter, Ashley Lawrence, and Shelby Meyer. Candy Kelsha also won a $600 scholarship during a lottery drawing workshop while they were attending VASE. From Adams, our state competitor was Kira Pole Cardinal, taught by Leslie Lamb. All of our student state qualifying artworks were assessed by jurors from across the United States, and students' artists received a rating of 4, which is considered exemplary. At the event, they were also awarded a state medallion and were named an all-state artist by TAEA and VASE, and we're very proud to say that every student who advanced to state received the state medallion. So please join me in congratulating all these students and their teachers for a great year in visual arts.
Great job. Come on up.
Y'all scoot in just a little. There we go. Mr. Earls, will you stand just a little? There we go. All right, everyone looking at me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
For our second recognition this evening, I am pleased to recognize Abilene High art student Holly Nolan for acceptance into a statewide art exhibition held in Austin. The Youth Art Month State Capitol Exhibition is hosted by the Texas Art Education Association and is an annual exhibition that advocates the strength and importance of visual arts program in schools. The reviewing committee sorts through hundreds of entries. Acceptance to this exhibition is a huge honor. The artwork was on display at the Bob Bullock Museum in Austin this past spring, and a ceremony was held in March where Holly received her certificate and medal. Please join me in congratulating Holly. For our final recognition this evening, I am pleased to recognize the state and national qualifiers for the Abilene High School Speech and Debate Team. I'd like to ask those students and their coach to please come forward at this time. We have Maggie McKenzie, who is a junior. She was a state qualifier in CX Debate to the UIL 5A State CX Debate Tournament with partner Laney Mars. She also was a regional qualifier in Persuasive Extemp. This was her first time advancing to regionals, in which she did as a first-year debate student. We also have Lily Lemons, who is a junior, who advanced to the UIL 5A State Qualifier in Ready Writing. Lily placed first at both district and regionals. We have Sloan Westbrook, who is a freshman this year, who is a national qualifier to the National Speech and Debate Association Tournament in Big Questions Debate, and is also a regional qualifier in Informative Extemp. This was her first time advancing to regionals, which she did as a first-year debate student. We have Laney Mars, who's a junior. She was a national qualifier to the National Speech and Debate Association Tournament in Congress, House, and United States Extemp. She will be competing in the USX. This is her second time qualifying to nationals in this event. She is also a state qualifier in domestic extemp to the Texas Forensic Association State Tournament. She was a semifinalist and 12th in the state, and this is her third year in a row qualifying for this tournament after going to the quarterfinals last year. She was also a state qualifier in Congress to the UIL 5A State Congress Contest, a finalist and 13th in the state. This is her second time qualifying to UIL State in this event. She's a state qualifier in CX Debate to the UIL 5A State CX Debate Tournament with partner Maggie McKenzie, and this is her second time qualifying to the UIL State in this event. She's also a state qualifier in Persuasive Extemp to the UIL 5A State Speech Contest. And finally, we have Siler Richardson, who is a senior. He is a national qualifier to the National Speech and Debate Association Tournament in Dramatic Interp, a state qualifier in International Extemp to the Texas Forensic Association State Tournament. After being eliminated in prelims, Siler went on to compete in the supplemental event pros, placing 4th overall in the state. He's a state qualifier in Informator Extemp to the UIL 5A State Speech Contest. This is his first time qualifying after qualifying in Persuasive Extemp last year. And Siler will also graduate from Abilene High School as an NSDA, which is the National Speech and Debate Association Academic All-American, having earned the degree of superior distinction, completed at least 5 semesters of high school, demonstrated outstanding character and leadership, and maintained a GPA of 3.7 or higher, and only 2% of NSDA members achieved this Academic All-American award. Our national qualifiers will be traveling to Richmond, Virginia in June to compete at nationals, which will conclude their 25-26 competitive season. The Abilene High Speech and Debate team is coached by Mr. Scott Stevens. Please join me in congratulating all of these students and their coach for these amazing achievements.
Absolutely incredible accomplishments, you guys. Wow, so I'm blown away.
Mr. Earls, will you scoot to your right? Just keep going, just keep going. Keep going. There you go. All right. Here we go. On 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right, next up we have Mr. Jim Garfield, Executive Director for Athletics with State Powerlifters.
Good to see everybody. Mr. Goodwin, Dr. Kuhn, thanks for having us. We're going to recognize our state qualifiers, so if we could get the Abilene High girls come on up. Coach Kern is going to introduce the girls and talk a little bit about them, all right?
Good evening. I'm Coach Kern at Abilene High School. I'm our girls powerlifting coach. This year we had a total of 10 girls qualify to go to the state powerlifting meet all the way down in Edinburgh, Texas. All these girls finished in the top 2 for 5A Division I at the regional meet. They do a great job. A lot of other sports, you know, that you lift in the weight room, but then you go get to do your other skill work. And for us, it's pretty much we lift every day, and they do a good job. So here we have Caslin Price. She was our senior. This was her first year with us, qualified for state. We have Ava Ruelas. This was her first year qualifying for state. Evelyn Cervantes, this was her first year with us, qualifying for state. Summer Handley, she's a junior. This was her third year qualifying for state. Analia Ramirez, and this was her second year qualifying for state, and Jimena Longinos, and it was also her second year. So a lot of people coming back next year to hopefully qualify again and do even better. But then they did a great job this year. So
Super proud of you girls. Coming up, let's take a picture.
we're gonna hang out over here.
We're all gonna take a family picture together when we're done. Coach Stewart for Cooper girls is gonna come up.
Appreciate y'all having us. I've got 3 that qualify for state. Dee Dee's here. Come on, Dee Dee. She's a 4-year letterman in powerlifting, also in the track program. Great student, great girl. Last year made it to state, didn't go like she wanted, so she put in hard work and came home second place. Did a great job. Unfortunately, she's a senior, so I'm losing her. But we got the other 2 were underclassmen and looking for good things. Appreciate you.
Awesome job.
And Coach Billy Rogers for the Cooper boys and the state champ.
Anyway, like you said, I am Coach Billy Rogers. I'm the powerlifting coach over at Cooper. This is Caden Bryan, goes by little K. You can probably guess why. But this time last year we came to this meeting and just gotten 3rd place, and I think I stood here and said, hopefully next year when we show back up, we'll be state champions. And he absolutely is a state champion. I believe it's the first boys powerlifting champion in Cooper High School history, for the boys side anyway.
At the end of tonight's meeting, the board president wants to arm wrestle Big K.
Let's go for sure. He was 800 plus pound, 820 pound squat, 520 pound bench, 670 pound deadlift. He's by far the strongest young man I've ever met in my life. So it's been an honor being a part of his life for the last few years.
You don't want to debate any of that last group of kids, and you don't want to fight any of this group of kids. That's just my advice.
Okay. All right, everyone looking at me. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Anybody else? Y'all can come up here if you want.
One, two, three. There you go. One, two, three.
Coaches, thank you all for working with these young men and women too.
It's good to see so many students qualifying in state and going to nationals on so many different things. So next up will be Mrs. Allison Sims, Associate Superintendent for Development of Human Resources with the Leadership Academy participants.
I'm excited to present to you our participants of the Leadership Academy this year. These individuals have dedicated extra time after work to come and learn all sorts of different things about our district from every department. The people you see sitting in front of you and some behind us all led some sessions, and we just had an outstanding group this year. So I would like to call each one of you up. If you are part of the Leadership Academy, come on up. I have Jennifer Crisp, Emily Brenninger, Sierra Burton, Lauren Cole, Andy Hope, Edith Perone, Noah Watson, and Wendy Wright. So thank you for your time and energy that you put into learning more about our district, and some are going to be taking some next steps in leadership in our district soon. So
let's have a big round of applause for these future leaders.
stand in front of Mr. Rose.
All right, everyone looking at me. Here we go. Ready? And 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Anybody else?
All right, we will now move to item 5, oral communication from the public. The board encourages comments about the district from members of the public. Anyone wishing to address the board must have completed a public comment card before the start of the public portion of tonight's meeting, indicating the agenda item or topic they wish to speak. We have four comments tonight. Oral communication is governed by AISD policy BED local. Under the Texas Open Meetings Act, the board is not permitted to discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on the agenda for the meeting. Speaker will be given 3 minutes to address the board. If, however, the total number of speakers to address the board at a meeting exceeds 5, the per speaker time limit may be reduced. In no event will a speaker be given less than 1 minute to address the board. So we have 4 speakers tonight, and we will not adjust the time. So you each get 3 minutes, and Dr. Kuhn will monitor the time and make the speaker aware of the time when time is up. So, you want to explain how?
Yeah, you'll see on the podium a little timer. It'll start at 3 minutes. It'll be green. When it gets down to 1 minute, it'll turn yellow. When it gets down to 30 seconds, it'll turn red. And when it gets down to 0, you've got to stop.
All right, first tonight is Tally Mullins.
Good evening. I'm not talking about books tonight. I'm doing a staff shout out. My third child is a very hard kid. They have a lot of mental illnesses. They have a lot of physical illnesses. And so we have really struggled in school their entire education. They started at a tiny school. That didn't work out. We went to TLCA. After 5 weeks, they were asked to leave, and we ended up at Purcell. The teachers and the staff there were excellent. I spent more time in that school than maybe at my house some weeks. I was there 1 week 6 times. And I had a joke with them that I just need my own office. Just give me a closet, an internet, and a chair, and I will be good. And I can sit with this child. The last 2 years they have been at Hartford, and the staff there is fantastic. I had them write me a list. So this is by far not comprehensive, but the people that they have interacted with at Hartford that pour out into my child, that love my child, that do whatever they can for this child who is very difficult. Lisa Walker, Martha Rao, she said, my child said, Mr. T, I think that's Johnny Tijerina. Lori Renfro, Miss Reha, I could not find a first name for her on the website. I don't know who that is. Mr. C was at Purcell when Eden was at Purcell, and now he's at Hartford, and I ran into him the last time we had an ARD, and he said, yeah, I see Eden every day. And I said, oh, I am so sorry. And he said, no, it's great. We have a great relationship. Kimberly McCutcheon, John Preston was Eden's teacher last year, and he did a great job. Rebecca Smith, Evan Price is a fantastic psychologist with Eden. Eden loves talking to him. Kathy Spivey, Becca Sellers, Amy Lambert, there's tons more. The janitorial staff, the lunch staff, people I don't even know who touch my child's life and make them, they like the staff. They don't like the other students, but that's just Eden. And so I just want to say, at least at Hartford and Purcell, those are the people that I have interacted with the most, and they have all been absolutely wonderful. I have no complaints about any staff going forward. The librarians are finding books for all my kids. My kids love to read, and so I just want to say thank you for hiring amazing people.
Thank you. Next up will be Walker Wills.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. Kuhn. My name is Walker Wills, and I am a 4th grader at Taylor Elementary. I would like to take a moment to talk about my Taylor experiences at Taylor. I was starting at a new school after being at Thomas since kindergarten. The night before the first day of the school year, I laid in bed, anxious, wondering, will I be accepted by people? What if I make a fool of myself? When I woke up, I knew it was time to face the music. By the time I went to music class, my worries were eased, and the person that helped a lot was Miss Graham. Since that day, I'm happy to say, now I feel like a true Taylor Trojan. One of my favorite things at Taylor is being a member of the Taylor team. It takes one candle to light a flame. This is similar to the team's purpose. This light not only impacts our team, but also our school, our city, our state, and our world. This couldn't be accomplished without the support and patience of our teachers. Miss Graham doesn't have to do choir or Taylor team. This shows that she does it for the love of the students. Her belief in every student at Taylor helps students exceed, learn, and grow. I'd like to thank the board and Dr. Kuhn for your time to let me share why Taylor is special to me and many others.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And I would like to tell you that you are a fantastic communicator. That was well written and well presented. Thank you for sharing that tonight.
Thank you. All right, our next one is Gussie Joe Turnbow.
Good evening. I'm a fifth grader at Taylor Elementary, and I'd like to recognize my school and how they've just improved me as a student here. I love to learn, and I love to be with all the teachers that have made me grow and have made me happy through the years. I would especially like to recognize Miss Graham and how she's just helped me push through all the hard times, and she's just truly amazing. And my school has really helped me through all the best times and the worst times. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Our last public comment is from Jude Brandt tonight.
My name is Jude Brandt. I am a fourth grader at Taylor Elementary, and I am here to shout out Mrs. Busk, a second grade teacher at Taylor Elementary. She is one of the best teachers I've had, and she's just amazing. I love her.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All three of you guys from Taylor Elementary did such a great job speaking to us tonight, and I appreciate you taking the time to come to a board meeting when you could be at home, and also your courage to stand up in front of a group of adults and speak your heart. What great, clear communications I heard from students tonight. I'm so proud of you guys, and thank you for saying such kind things about your teachers. They do pour their hearts into what they do, and I'm glad that you guys are receiving the good that they do and also recognizing it. Thank you so much for sharing tonight.
I'll say thank you to Mrs. Graham also, who's been a staple in the district for 40 years? 37. I'm sorry, okay. She's done a great job as a music teacher, and the kids at Taylor have loved her, and she's wonderful.
And taking a few trips to Austin with a bunch of kids, right? San Antonio, not Austin, San Antonio.
All right, thank you all for your public comments. We'll now move to item 6, consent agenda. The AISD Board of Trustees meetings are preceded by an in-depth board workshop, which are held prior to regular meetings. The purpose of the workshop meeting is to discuss items in preparation for potential consideration at future board meetings. Meeting times are posted on the AISD website at AbileneISD.org. The public is invited to attend. Does a board member wish to remove an item for discussion from the consent agenda? All right, seeing no one, do we have a motion regarding the items on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
All right, we have a motion by Taylor Tidmore. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Enriquez. All right, we'll take a roll call vote. Billy Enriquez?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Danny Wheat? Yes. Blair Schrader is absent. Rodney Goodman, yes. Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Angie Wiley is absent. Motion passes 5-0. All right, let's see. Next item will be to discuss the athletic department. Mr. Jim Garfield, Executive Director for Athletics, will give us a presentation.
Good to see everybody again. Okay, so our athletic department, if you can see here, we have an open spot listed up there, but not anymore. So come here, Coach Roan. Coach Roan is going to be our new Assistant Director of Athletics in Abilene ISD. So I wanted to, having time now in front of you guys to talk about this guy. You know, everybody that's been on social media today has said like he's stepping down into this role. He's actually stepping into more of an exciting role, I believe, right? Becoming a partner with me in our athletic department. And it's just going to be an honor to work with you. And you want to say anything here real quick?
Well, yes, appreciate you,
Yeah.
Coach Gar. I'm excited about the opportunity to have a different role in our school district. You know, I've been involved with Cooper High School for 20 years and have an expanded role that I'm ready to jump into and provide some resources for our coaches, for our community, for our stakeholders. And man, I'm ready to go to work. You know, Coach Gar, I can't thank you enough for having trust and faith and encourage me in this kind of athletic leadership role. And so I appreciate everybody here. This is a great place. Abilene's a great community. We've got great staff. You've heard it from the little ones, not only elementary, middle school, high school, all the way across the board. And I'm excited about the opportunity that I have in this new role to assist any way that I can. So that's what I'm here to do. I appreciate you.
Welcome aboard, man. So kind of an understanding, or get an understanding of what we're going to do. So like I'm in charge of personnel and business and UIL. Coach Roan is going to be in charge of facilities and operations and officials, right? But we're also going to break this piece up a little bit more. He's going to be in charge of the middle schools. So his first part of his day is going to start out on the middle school campus and work with our middle school coaches. So we're going to pay attention to detail from grades 6 through 12, and he's going to dedicate his time to the middle school, and of course I'll be at the high school level, but really looking forward to you making a huge impact on the middle schools. Let's brag about athletics. Our Abilene High feeder, of course, Coach Fullen and is our coordinator over at Abilene High, so he's the leader of this program. We do have an open spot at Man Middle School. Coach Harris is moving up to the high school, so we're looking for a girls coordinator there. And also want to thank, before I move on Coach Roan's interview committee. We got some guys here that were part of that committee. If you guys would stand and let me acknowledge you guys here. Coach Fullen, Coach Johnson, Dr. Zemer, they were part of that committee that went through the interview process with Coach Roan and myself. Our Cooper program, obviously Coach Roan is not there. We're looking for one, but Coach Scott Stewart is stepping up to lead out over there while we have this transition. Our athletic department, our district alignments, if you look in our football Division I, we're gaining Friendship and Friendship Memorial, so we'll add an extra game there. We lost Coronado. Coronado was sliding to the Division II region, and then out of that district, Plainview is out. They went 4A. Nothing changed in our all sport. We're going to stay the same there. Nothing changed in our swim and dive. We're going to stay the same there. Of course, the sports that we participate in, you know, all the basic team sports, individual sports, and of course we got the non-UIL, the gymnastics, the powerlifting, and the esports. I think a telling slide right here is 100% of our individual sports qualified for the playoffs, right? And then when you break it down, 87% of all teams made it to the playoffs this year. Our district champions, this is pretty special here. Abilene High football was a district champion. Cooper boys cross country was a district champion. Abilene High boys basketball was a district champion. Abilene High boys soccer was a district champion. Abilene High baseball was a district champion. Abilene High softball was a district champion. Abilene High boys track was a district champion. Says a lot about it, and I think if we go back, we can dig even deeper, or we would be runner-up in a bunch of these with Cooper, right? So we've had a successful year. Our state qualifiers in cross country, Aubrey Duran placed 54th. Grant Dewey, Abilene High boys golfer. Just like Big K was the first one to medal at state. Grant is the first golfer that we've ever had get into state. So that gives us Big K, state champion, first time. Dewey, first time golfer in the state championships. And Lucas Lee, this was his second year in. And pretty amazing stuff going on. Our girls powerlifting, we've already, boys and girls powerlifting, we already recognized those two. And then, of course, we got track coming up. Jaden Jackson qualified as the wild card, so he's going to go in as the third slot in our region. He's going in on a 10.27, right? 10.27 100 meters. So we're going to be really fast down there. Our middle school sports, same sports we're involved in. Our city champs, we just finished soccer, so you can see that on the boys' side, man cross country won the city, Madison won the basketball and the football and the track. And on the boys' side, we had a three-way tie for city champs, Clack, Madison, and Craig. On the girls' side, man cross country won the city, 8th grade, Clack volleyball won. Man got the basketball and track, and on the girls' side, Craig won the 8th grade city championship. 6th grade pre-AS, you know, we've been doing 6th grade pre-AS since I've been here. It's open to all students. Got to have a physical to get in, and you got to participate in the intramural program. In the intramural program, we play flag football, basketball, volleyball, and we run track. Our athletic participation numbers, you can see at the total we had 24 athlete increase this year. And the telling story on this one is 40% of our secondary school students participate in athletics, over 40%. So athletics is an important reason our kids come to school. If you really think about it, those 40% kids, they got to be in school because they got to pass the play, right? They got to be in school because they got to be able to work out to get ready for the games. So athletics is a huge piece in our educational system. Our superlatives, our awards, we had 16 superlatives. We had 81 first teamers. We had 71 second team. And I'm not going to read the slide because I learned a lesson this weekend. Don't read the slide. But you can see that we're competing very well in not just in our first and second teams, our superlatives, but also in our academic piece of it. And then our college-bound athletes, right now we're at 41. It's definitely there's going to be more than that. Because we had, three signed today at Abilene High, and we got kids coming up this week, right? 5 at Cooper. All right, so we've been tracking grades since I've been here, right? And I think it's really important to show this slide is you can see over the years we've maintained an 88 average. But this year, through the 9 weeks, we hit an 89.6 pass average. You know, and when you go back to that slide, that's over 3,000 kids, right, that is participating in athletics, and 89% of them are passing and being able to play. I really want to thank you guys because I think it's moving to the 9-week grading cycle really helped us out in this situation. So hats off to our coaches and to our kids. Some of the things that we do here, the seat at the table. Again, this is when I was interviewing for the job 4 years ago, Coach Ward has sat across from me, just like you are sitting across from me, right? And he said, Coach, what are you going to do for our women's coaches? Man, and I tell you, when the seat at the table came out, that was the perfect segue into it, because it gives our women coaches an opportunity to get together, to collaborate, to bond, to come up with different ideas, how to manage a work life and a married life and a mom life, and it has really been beneficial for us. And matter of fact, we got our last seat at the table meeting tomorrow night. Our head coach academy, I started this a couple years ago. We want to grow our own. Things that we talked about is letter of interest, resume, a 90-day entry, how to do an interview. You know, we talk about having a board of directors when you're looking for a job. You know, you find 3 people that you can confide in and talk about the job, all right? And then the last thing that was a huge success that we did last year is that we had a head coaches panel, and they were able to ask the head coaches questions on, you know, what are some of the challenges that you have of being a first-year head coach? And it really kind of opened their eyes on some things, because it's hard sitting in that chair, right, Doc? It's hard sitting in that chair. You don't have many friends. When you're a head coach, it's hard sitting in that chair, all right? This was a picture from them last year. Obviously, it's a mix of our head coaches and the assistants that want to be head coaches. Our Rock Mentor program, again, we are thriving in the Rock Mentor program with THSCA. These are our 2 rocks this year, Austin Schoonmaker and Jaden Arwine, 2 of the best coaches that we've got in the district. Our leadership, Texas High School, we hosted a leadership tour this year out at Potosi Live. And John Kuhn was the keynote speaker there. And I tell you, the coaches that were at this thing, all they could talk about was John Kuhn and how well he presented himself and what he talked about. And one thing that resonates in my mind from your story was you have time until you don't have enough time. Isn't that how you said it? And he was talking about a situation and what had happened to him and putting work life and life in perspective. The message that you brought to all those coaches that were there, especially ours, because we were the majority of those coaches, right? You hit home. You hit a home run with that one, Doc. And I can't say enough great things about what you have done as a leader, and it showed in that meeting. I mean, you put Kat Osterman to shame. You did. No disrespect. Huh? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, thank you for your leadership, man. Thank you, Coach. All right. When I got here, we talked about having one town, one family, right? You know, when you're in a multi-school district and you got 4 middle schools, you got 2 high schools, you got a north and the south side. Obviously, when we get together and play each other, it needs to be intense. We need to go, but when it's over, it's over. We got to be a part of a group to help grow our athletic program. And I brought that here because I feel like I don't think we needed it, but it was just something that we could build off of, and it really has happened. I mean, just from the experience with going through Coach Roan's interview process and knowing that Mike Folan supports Coach Roan fully in this position, it says a lot about what we are doing as an athletic staff. So always remember, one town, one family. Anybody got any questions? You okay with that there, Cowboy? One town, one family. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Before we move to the next item, Dr. Kuhn has a special guest to introduce.
Yeah, I want to apologize to Mr. Dean. We have a special guest with us here tonight. I was supposed to recognize you during recognitions, and it slipped my mind with all the kids coming up and everything. So without any further ado, before we go on with the board meeting, we have a special guest here, Mr. Michael Dean. He is the Deputy District Director for U.S. Congressman Jody Arrington. And I've had the privilege of getting to know Michael over the past couple of years because he has been a frequent presence at Abilene ISD events. We've sat together at ball games. His wife works for us, and Michael, Mr. Dean, has been very generous with his time in being a part of what we have going on at Abilene ISD. And I want to thank you for your presence here tonight. And I'd like to open up the podium to you if you'd like to say anything to our board. If not, I totally understand. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I do want to say thank you for being here.
I learned, good evening, everybody. I learned a long time ago, if they give you a chance to speak, you should never pass it up. So I'll start off with this on behalf of Congressman Jody Arrington. Dr. Kuhn, thank you for everything that you've done for AISD. AISD is the second largest school district in Congressman Arrington's district. And so you're going to be missed. I know you're not going far. And as you mentioned earlier, Dr. Waldron, you're going to do an amazing job. So I just want to say thank you for that. You know, AISD is important to me personally. My wife is a second grade school teacher at Stafford Elementary. We love it here. When I retired at Adias, we knew Abilene's where we wanted to stay. You know, beyond that as well, I'm on the AEF board because I wanted to be involved with that so we can give back, you know, in a different way. So thank you for the opportunity for letting me speak up here. It wasn't expected, but it's always a pleasure to come here and see how professional AISD does at their board meetings. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here tonight.
All right, our next item is a report from the Special Education Department. Dr. Stephanie Jackson, Executive Director for Special Education.
Good evening, Dr. Kuhn and board. I'm going to talk to you about special ed tonight. I'm going to give you a ton of information and then some takeaways, but I am going to throw in some wins, some brag rights, and some stories. Oh wait, where's my clicker? Special education, our purpose is to provide specialized instruction and support for students with diverse learning needs. We don't just focus on academics, we focus on academics, behavioral needs, and life skills development, and we ensure access to education in the least restrictive environment. And what that means is we're going to educate the students in as close to the general ed setting as possible based on their needs. Our mission is to support their growth and academically, socially, and functionally. We do this by aligning individual goals in their individual education plan, which is their IEP. We build those at an ARD meeting, which is an admission, review, and dismissal meeting. Students have an ARD meeting at least one time a year, and we review their IEP and make updates to it if needed. And our other goal is to foster independence for these students. I'm going to give you a few minutes to read. These are the ways that you can qualify for special education, and then we'll talk about a couple of them. The three that I have bolded for you, autism, other health impairment, and specific learning disabilities, these are our most prevalent in Abilene ISD. Other health impairment can be from ADHD all the way to a severe syndrome that causes students to be cognitively, have cognitive disabilities and physical disabilities. A specific learning disability, this could be just a deficit in reading or math. Dyslexia is classified under specific learning disabilities. And then autism, we hear a lot about autism, and it truly is a spectrum. We have students that are autistic, that qualify educationally autistic, that are in the general ed setting, and then we have some that are in a very restrictive self-contained setting. Abilene ISD, our special education department, I think is the very best in this entire area. We provide a continuum of services, which means inclusion support, a teacher pushing into the general ed classroom, all the way to a self-contained, if that's what's needed. We serve 3,089 students. That number changes daily. We've had 483 referrals for initial evaluations this year and 150 more referrals for speech-only evaluations. So the 483, these are going to be evaluations that we did cognitive, achievement, possibly autism, and possibly emotionally disturbed.
Of the 3,089 students, do you know how many are outside the district? Do we get transfers in?
We get requests to transfer in. We have quite a few that are in like an inclusion setting where we push in, or even a resource where we pull out. If it is a self-contained, we don't approve those transfers because we don't have enough seats. We serve the children who live here, and we actually had one this year. They moved their family from Gym Ned to Abilene High District so that their child could be in our programs. So they come to us. A self-contained classroom, that's what we're going to focus on the rest of this time. This is designed for students who require intensive support, whether it be academic or behaviorally. We have a lower student to adult ratio. It's 4 to 1. In a regular classroom, you have a 1 teacher and 22 to 24 students. So a 4 to 1 is very small. It's very highly structured. We focus on individualized and functional learning, and it is a much more restrictive environment than the general ed setting. We have 4 different kinds of self-contained classes. PALS is our practical academics and living skills. ADAPT is Abilene developmental and practical training. We have 6 of those classes. We have 4 autism classes. And then our student achievement program is what Ms. Mullins was talking about earlier. And that's at Hartford, and we have 12 classes. Our autism classes were new this year, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But our PALS and ADAPT, those are just Abilene names. A lot of other districts call them just practical academics or life skills classes. And when I was working on this, I found out that Ms. Sims' mom is the one who made these names up a very long time ago, and they just stuck. Our PALS classes go from kinder to 12. We do instruction in core areas that are aligned to prerequisite skills. Prerequisite skills are going to be those foundational skills that you have to have before you can learn something bigger. The kiddos are 3 to 4 grade levels below their age due to their disability. And right now we're serving 270 students in our PALS program. We also work on functional skills in those classrooms. This could be communication or self-care. For our older kids, we do some vocational skills in those classes. The way that you qualify for a PALS class, you have to meet all the criteria to take the STAR Alt 2. And I attached that to y'all's presentation. There is 8 different things that the student has to meet in order to qualify for STAR Alt. If they don't meet one of those 8, they can't take that test. They have to take a regular STAR. All of the self-contained placements require an ARD meeting. For PALS, there has to be a significant cognitive delay that impacts their ability to be in the general ed setting. And then sometimes there are deficits in their adaptive behavior, which includes daily living and self-care. Could be that they have to be reminded how to wash their hands, or they may need help toileting, those kinds of things. And then the students have to require continuous or frequent adult support to complete regular tasks. Our ADAPT program, this is pre-K all the way to 12. We serve students that they have significant cognitive delays. Some of them are medically fragile, not all of them. Most of them have severe communication delays, and some of them have some physical disabilities as well. Again, we work on functional skills, and in our ADAPT classes, it is a much higher focus on daily living and life skills. So things that they would need to be able to do to be semi-independent. The students that are in ADAPT will most likely always need some kind of support, even when they're grown. Currently, we have 62 students in that program.
Can you tell the board, these type programs, are they exclusively public school programs, or do you find these type programs in private schools, charter schools?
There are some specialized private schools, but for the majority of private schools, they don't offer programs like this. We actually had a meeting today for a student who is a private school student. They requested an evaluation, and we complete that for them. And then we meet with the parent and tell them, if they came to Abilene, this is what we could offer you. The only services that we offer to private and homeschool students that Abilene ISD actually pays for is speech services, and that's through a federal fund that we're given every year. But we don't do any other services. I don't know what happened. Did I do that? Okay. Okay, and so the way that you meet to be placed in an ADAPT class, you have to meet the qualifications for Star Alt. It's an ARD placement. The difference is they need intensive individualized instruction with repetition and prompting in order to complete the skills. A lot of the students, we do hand-over handwriting. That's when the child will hold and then the adult holds on top and helps them write. Most of them are limited in communication. Some of them even have devices that will speak for them. We have one young lady that I know of for sure, we may have more than one, but she has an eye gaze machine, and it is the coolest thing. She can communicate with us by looking at the screen and looking at different parts of the screen. They also have difficulty managing transitions and routines, and they need constant support. They cannot do things without adult support. Our autism class, like I said, this is a new program for Abilene ISD. We serve K-8. These children are on grade level instruction. We teach the regular curriculum. It is a self-contained room, and then as they're ready, they start transitioning out. We focus a lot on social and emotional skills and self-regulation skills. Currently, we have 24 students in that program. They will take the regular STAR. It is an ARD committee decision. We also do observations and gather data from the campus before we ever move a student into any of these classes. Particularly the autism class this year was, because it was new, we did a lot of observations, and some kids really needed it, and some kids did just fine in the regular classroom. The reason we started this is we did not have a place for students who were on the autism spectrum, could do grade level work, but could not sit in a classroom of 22 or 24 students because it was too overstimulating. We have one young man and I spoke to his mother, and she said, I could tell his story. We're so proud of him. He was at a regular campus without this program. He, very, very smart. He was able to do grade level curriculum. He had 43 discipline referrals last year because he could not self-regulate. He would get so overwhelmed and overstimulated that he would just kind of scream or throw himself on the floor or need to leave, which ended in 43 discipline referrals. And then this year, he's in the autism class. He's already working on transitioning out because he's been so successful, and he's had 3 discipline referrals. So just getting him to the right spot has made a huge difference in his education. Our SAP classes, we serve K-12, and this is our special education students who require very intensive behavior support. Instruction is on grade level, except we do have 2 SAP ADAPT classes, so these are going to be our kiddos who are cognitively lower but still have some severe behavior concerns. We work on functional skills and behavioral strategies in every class. It doesn't matter what level you're on. We work on it at every level. And right now we're serving 74 students. And this is the program that we house at Hartford this year and will be at Thomas next year. The way that you qualify for SAP, we're very careful to make sure that we have exhausted everything on the regular campus. We have behavior liaisons, behavior coordinators, the classroom teachers. We help them with strategies. We have special education teachers that we help with, and then assistant principal, counselors, all the things. Because we want to make sure that we don't move a student away from that setting unless it's absolutely necessary. We also get our school psychologist involved, and they do a functional behavioral assessment, which will tell us what is causing the behavior, like what's happening. And then if needed, they have a behavior intervention plan. The behavior intervention plan has to be tried on a regular campus, and if it is still not successful, that's when we know that we need to look at moving into the SAP program. We do lots of observations of the students, and it's kind of a slow process, and it sometimes seems like the campus is, we keep pushing back on the campus, and that's not our goal at all, but we do not want to move students to a whole nother campus into a very restrictive environment unless it's absolutely necessary. Our commitment is to student success. We want to focus on independence and inclusion, but our main goal is just for students to be successful where they are. And so my biggest takeaways for you is that we serve every child that comes to us, no matter what their disability is, no matter what their need is. We serve every child to help them be successful educationally. If we don't have a program, we brainstorm and we figure it out and we make one. I love this job. I've told lots of people this is the hardest job I've ever had, but I love it. I love working with the students and the staff, and I'm very blessed to have a great staff. But no matter what in Abilene, we find a way to serve these students. Y'all have any questions for me?
I don't have a question, but I do want to just real quickly say that one of the really best, most meaningful things I've gotten to do a few times really, is go to Hartford to a student's graduation there, and the way they celebrate those kids and make them feel so special when they complete their requirements and get to walk down that outdoor area with all the other kids giving them high fives and stuff. I've just been so pleased with that program and those people over there. And I think our parent who spoke said it very eloquently, but they love those kids and they meet them where they are, and they have the appropriate training to de-escalate and respond and love. And it may be the hardest job you've ever had, but it also may be the biggest difference you'll ever make in your life. And
absolutely, just
please send to your whole team, on behalf of the board, on behalf of me, a message of appreciation for everything they do, because I know it's challenging work, but it is life-changing work.
We've had 3 graduations at Hartford this year. We had one last week, and it was raining, and so we did it in the cafeteria, and we lined the whole edge of the cafeteria, and it was very special. Tomorrow night, I know Dr. Kuhn has already said this, but we do have our special ed graduation. This is a small graduation for kiddos that couldn't handle the big graduation at Abilene High or Cooper. I think we've got 7 kiddos graduating tomorrow. It's at Cooper at 6:30 in the auditorium, and we would love for y'all to be there. Do you have any other questions for me?
I will say I think my favorite event I attended last year was the special education graduation, so I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow night. But like you said, I'm so thankful we have a district that is dedicated to educating every single student, no matter where they at or where they're at in life. And so I really do appreciate the work you're doing. I do have one question. I know the state gives us an allotment for special education when it comes to funding. Does what the state give us fully cover our special education cost?
No,
Okay.
no. We get federal.
You didn't even have to think about
No.
that.
I just did a really zero-based budget. I know exactly how much money I need to make this program work. And I know how much the federal government gives us and how much the state gives us. So our district does use local money, which is, I'm sure some places don't spend their local money on their special ed department, but we do. And the funding is changing for next year. It's based on the intensity of need for the student, which is I've gone through some trainings. It's a pretty big bear because you look at every student individually instead of just their instructional arrangement, and that's how the intensity level is how we will be funded. So I'm kind of interested to see how that goes next year, to see if it's more or less. I feel like it's going to be more for us because we do have programs like our Regional Day School for the Deaf, and those students are in a general ed setting, but they have to have an interpreter all day or they can't communicate. And so that makes them a higher intensity. So it's pretty interesting. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much for being on top of this complex world.
All right, we will now move to business items requiring board action. The first item is group medical insurance. Mrs. Allison Sims, Associate Superintendent for the Development of Human Resources, will tell us about it.
All right, well, I am here tonight to share where we are with our medical insurance and make some recommendations. So we'll get started. Just an overview, I'm going to give you a little bit about our insurance history and current status, where we are right now, and then a financial outlook and our claims trends, and then our request for proposals review and cost comparison, and then finally a recommendation and next steps. So reasons why this is important is it could be a significant cost to our district budget, depending on if the board wanted to increase their contribution per employee. It is definitely going to be a significant cost for our employees. Limited market competition reduces the options that we have in our community and our options for people who want to bid on our insurance. And the decision is required to ensure continued coverage for our employees. So a little bit of historical perspective. AISD opted out of TRS Active Care in 2021. That is what the state provides for us. They provide it for us, but they don't pay for it. But there is a little bit of shelter under that umbrella that when we chose to leave, we didn't know about, because the state has continually supplemented TRS Active Care to keep the premiums from going up. There's a 5-year commitment when we chose to leave. We will end that 5-year commitment at the end of next school year. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And then our district contribution is $410 per month, and it has been that since 2016. We pay per employee. The state minimum, the state required, is $255 per employee per month. Just a little comparison, because I wanted to see where we were in comparison to some other districts around us. You can see we're kind of hanging out there in the middle with the $410 per month contribution. We have some districts that are below us, and we have some that are well above us in what they contribute to their employees' insurance per month. So just a little bit about historically where we've been. 22-23, we had Blue Cross Blue Shield. We've had Blue Cross Blue Shield for the past 4 years. But I think the important thing to look at is both the plan details across time, and then the monthly premiums, and then the cost to the employee per month. You'll notice that it looks, started out at $16.30 per month for an employee, and this is for the lowest cost plan. We usually have 4 to 6 plan options for the employee. And this year looks really good because we had a plan that was at no cost to the employee. But one thing I want to point out to you is that that raised the deductible. When we were able to do that, it raised the deductible from $3,200 to $6,000. So our insurance while the cost may have gone down for the employee, if they need to utilize it heavily, their deductible went almost double. So, loss ratio. This has been our biggest issue. You can see in 2022-23, we started out at 114%. This year, we're rounding out the year at 168%. So the bottom line is that our claims significantly exceed our premiums, which creates an unstable plan structure. So our current financial reality, the premiums cost, you can see there, $12.8 million. The claims, $21.6. Loss ratio, 168%. The problem here, or the driver of these costs, high cost claimants. So 0.8% of our plan members generated 48% of the cost. That is our number one key issue. Also, utilization of the emergency rooms for non-emergent illnesses or ailments, and then the cost of pharmacy cost of some of our specialty drugs continues to rise. If that first bullet point were not there, we would probably be in a better place, but that first bullet point with the high claimants is definitely driving our costs significantly. So we knew from our partnership at Hub that if we did not go out for an RFP, we were going to be in a situation where our insurance would go up as around 87% is what we were quoted. So staying where there was no rate cap, staying with Blue Cross Blue Shield, that's where we were going to get. So we felt like it was important for us to go back out for an RFP to see what was available in the marketplace. So all of those things happened, started in February with responses due in March. We evaluated with Hub later in March, and then also Hub helped us negotiate to get the best and strongest plan structure and cost that was available to us with the loss ratio that we have. So our vendor response list, Blue Cross Blue Shield and Baylor Scott & White did respond. The rest of those there were invited to respond but did not. So again, that limited competition reflects current market challenges. So when we've only got 2 people competing, it makes it a little harder to get a good rate. So what we knew, I mentioned that 87.3% increase. If we had just stayed with Blue Cross Blue Shield, did not go back out to bid, we knew that we were going to have an 87.3% increase. So that would have been without the RFP. Where we are now, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the plan did go up and increase 62.1%. No plan design changes there. Everything stays the same and is consistent for our employees. The Baylor Scott & White plan would have increased premiums 91.8%, plus it required the district to pay 100% of the contribution for the employee at the lowest plan option, which would not have been financially feasible at this time. So a little bit of our scoring. I mentioned Baylor Scott & White and Blue Cross Blue Shield. As you can see, out of 100 points possible, Blue Cross Blue Shield got 91 points and Baylor Scott & White received 79. Cost was obviously a big driver there. So here are our plans kind of broken down. There's 2 on this slide. There's a PPO that is a $6,000 deductible and a PPO that is a $3,400 deductible and $3,300 deductible, excuse me. And you can see the cost for the employee only is $664.11 or $1,004.45. That's on the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan. I will tell you the $664.11 is our lowest cost plan. That does not include the deduction of the $410 per month that the district provides. But if you go back to the cheapest plan option for this year, it was free to the employee. So now we're going to our lowest plan option being, right around $210, $250 per month for an employee. The other 2 plans provided by Blue Cross Blue Shield was an HMO that was a $6,000 deductible and an HMO with a $2,000 deductible, again, $819 $1,193.19, and then $1,193.23 for those monthly premiums there. So our recommendation is that we approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan for the 26-27 school year. Rationale, it is the lowest cost option, although it is definitely an increase for our employees. It meets the district's needs and it avoids any additional structural changes as far as moving from one insurance to another or having to completely change the plans too terribly much. Just kind of looking ahead, because we know that this is a huge financial impact that our employees are going to be experiencing. We will be evaluating our return to TRS active care for the 27-28 school year. If we decide to do that, we need to let them know by December of 2026. So we will be evaluating those plans. They have not come out with their new rate structure for next school year yet. We watched that. Last year, their plans were very similar to what our plans were, and cost-wise were very similar to what our plans were. But with this year's rates, I suspect that we're going to be in a better place possibly to return to TRS active care for next school year. Current supports, because what we realized is that 0.8% contributing 48% of the claims, that we need to make sure that we are educating our staff on wellness and how to stay healthy and well. In our current Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, we offer all of these things as options free. There's a lot of online support. We have MD Live, which is virtual health care visits that are at no cost, an employee assistance program, well on target for some health coaching, some women's health advising, several things for weight loss support, and then some musculoskeletal care solutions, along with some diabetes, hypertension, and weight management support with Livongo. We have things out there for our employees to use as supports to help with their personal wellness. We want to make sure that they know that they're out there and how to utilize them, and that's something that is on this next slide, is just some future enhancements, possibly some optional basic health screenings for our staff, partnering with our TPA, First Financial, or another local entity, and then we're going to be providing some benefits education classes to let them know about some of our free things that are offered within our plan, and also just to educate them about if they're going to be out for maternity leave or if they're going to be out on having a knee surgery or hip surgery, kind of the process and what they need to do to prepare for those things with their insurance and with the district. And then, again, that increased awareness of existing services. So let me go back here. I'm sorry, I'm pushing the wrong way. Sorry, wrong button. Let me go the right way. So back to our recommendation would be to approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield plan for the 26-27 plan year. Can I answer any questions for you?
I mean, if we haven't increased what we're contributing since 2016, are we looking into that as an option? I mean, obviously,
Yes.
we don't have money just
Right.
in excess, but that's a big burden to add on to our employees on a monthly basis.
It is. So any changes in the board's contribution to our employees' health care would be a part of a compensation package, and it would be some part of the, which I presented about Thursday night, about our compensation and any board-approved raises and things like that. I do have some information about potential cost, and I can just give you an example. If we went up, raised from $410 to $460, if the board said, okay, we're going to contribute $460 per month to every employee's insurance, the cost to that would be about $1 million, a little over $1 million. So you kind of think about those $50 increments, that would be about the cost to the district. So that would be part of budgeted compensation. But yes, it is something that we've looked into and will be presenting as a part of compensation.
What percentage of employees take our insurance?
I don't have a percent, but I can tell you that out of about 2,200 employees, we have 1,778 who take our insurance.
Do you know, I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but do you know if most of our employees do the employee only, or do most of our employees do employee plus spouse, employee plus family?
It is a variety. I have Joy back here. Do you have a number?
I don't have a number, but what I saw this year, I saw more of employee only because of the zero cost plan. Previously, we don't have a ton who do employee family because it is over $1,000 no matter what. The other one I see more of is employee children, because spouse is more expensive to add to your plan than children. You can add as many children as you want, they're all one cost.
Yeah. Whether you have one or you have 10. It's the same, yeah.
Yeah, as we look forward to the 27-28 year, is the TRS plan going to be a 5-year commitment?
I don't think that it is a 5-year commitment. I think if we decided, here's the thing, we can go back in, but if we decide to go back out, that's when the 5-year commitment kicks in.
They lock you out.
They lock you out for 5 years. So we could go back in for 1 year, but if we decide to go back out, we would be out for another 5 years, which when the decision was made to do that with the information that we had at the time, it was before the state came in and kind of bailed out what we were seeing with TRS active care rates. It was the best decision at the time because they hadn't bailed them out yet. And now we know that the state has done that multiple times to kind of control the rates for TRS active care. But we didn't know that was going to happen when the decision was made to leave.
You were saying earlier that it was 8% that was dominating about 43% of the cost?
It's 0.8%.
0.8%.
Dominates 48% of the cost.
Okay. Have we had any suggestions by the carriers what we could do with that percentage? Maybe pull that percentage out and have a different carrier taking that, or look at some other option there?
There are not, because it's our employee health care plan, we cannot isolate those large claimants in that way. And there's some, I could share with you what a couple of those large claimants are, and there's just not a way to, you can't pull them out.
Yeah, I don't want to pull them out.
Right.
I just was wondering if there was
Offer
other
them
options
something.
for us that the carriers could look at.
That particular group would be extremely difficult to insure on a separate plan. One of our largest claimant, it's over $1 million situation.
Any other questions, comments?
This does require a vote, correct?
This does require board action, yes.
Thank you.
Sure.
Is there a motion regarding the group medical insurance?
Move to approve the Blue Cross Blue Shield as the district's medical insurance provider for 26-27 plan year.
We have a motion by Danny Wade. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Taylor Tidmore. We'll now take a roll call vote. Rodney Goodman, yes. Angie Wiley, absent. Bill Enriquez?
Yes.
Cindy Earls?
Yes.
Blair Schrader is absent. Danny Wheat?
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. We'll now move to item B, donation of bronze statues. Dr. Joe Waldron, Superintendent Designate.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Thank you for the opportunity to present this to you. I want to highlight an opportunity for us for the bronze statues that were once commissioned by Bill and Lila Center and housed here at the district office at 1 AISD Center. You may remember them. I do have pictures of them in a second. But they were here for multiple years, and then when we created a secure vestibule out here in front, those statues were no longer on display.
They were talked about a few times, and even at one point, the city came and looked at them for possibly inclusion in the park that they're building across from Cypress Street that is almost complete with those pavilions. But ultimately, they decided that wasn't the best. They didn't make that work in the design. But we have since been approached by the Abilene Heritage Square to receive these statues. And here they are. You may remember them, but they're not as heavy as they look. They are hollow, but they're pretty incredible. School-age children in various poses. On the left is them at Abilene Heritage Square, and on the right is a rendering from Extreme Exteriors of what they might look like. Now, they've actually been, I'm going to spoil alert, they've already been installed. So
Well, this phone goes through.
We'll just leave that alone. I just can't help but be transparent. So here, they are already over there if you want to see them. They're not spread this, it's hard to see them in this picture, but they're actually, most of them are grouped together, and the girl, I think the girl sitting down reading a book is by herself. But it's very well done, looks pretty cool. What we're asking you tonight is to consider a donation. We cannot find any written record that Abilene ISD ever owned them. I don't think we ever really did. We've asked a few people who've been around a little while, and what best we can tell is we know that the Center family commissioned them. We know that they were on display here. So this action is to just kind of solidify that we support placing the statues at the new AHS, which if you haven't caught on, Abilene Heritage Square and the home of Abilene High School for a while is yet again AHS. And this weekend on Saturday it opens and those statues are there as connected to our school district, and there'll be a memorial sign that says something to the effect of the statues were made by Bill and Lila Center once on display at Abilene ISD. It's a perfect place for them. And you know it when you see it. I've driven by and just been like, oh, that's awesome. So that's what's before you today. Really, it's a donation agreement solidifying that those statues will live at the Heritage Square.
And they were looked at to make sure they will stand up outdoors, right? There was a...
Yes, the Grace Museum is the one who was the advisor in this. They take care of stuff like this all the time.
And I think the ribbon cutting is 10 a.m. Saturday.
10 a.m. Saturday. Mr. Earls, you can give us a history lesson?
I've got my note. I was really going to press the button. Do the centers not have any sort of records in their family archives?
Laura Moore spoke to them, and there's just no written document. So this is about creating a written record.
So this starts the paper trail?
As best we can do.
Okay. What year were they, do you know what year they were commissioned or made or?
I do not.
Okay.
There's a little symbol on the back of each one of them, hard to read, but it says words, but you can't read them.
Well, okay. Because for a number of years, when so many of the schools were having fundraisers to have playground equipment, there was something in effect at that time that there had to be a written document, an actual document that said that it was donated by the PTA to the school and the school district. And that's been at least 25 or 30 years, but I don't remember for sure about how long the children had been out there, and I don't know where they were before that.
We looked long and hard. I've been in the basement for a few minutes looking.
There is no record that we know of.
No reporter news to check back on,
We did that too.
and they didn't have any sort of record?
It might exist. I'm not trying to discount that, but none that were found. In actuality, it would not be relevant. This action is literally saying we authorize the statues to be at AHS.
Any other comments or questions? All right, is there a motion regarding the bronze statues?
Move to approve the resolution. I move to approve the resolution.
A second.
We have a motion by Cindy Earls and a second by Bill Enriquez. We'll take a roll call vote. Taylor Tidmore,
Yes.
Cindy Earls,
Yes.
Angie Wiley's absent, Rodney Goodman, yes, Bill Enriquez,
Yes.
Blair Schrader's absent, and Danny Week.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Next item is renaming of Bowie Elementary School. Mrs. Janae Weidman, principal of Bowie Elementary, will present this item.
Good evening, School Board, Dr. Kuhn. Thank you for inviting me here to talk about this very exciting thing that we are going to be doing at Bowie Elementary. Do I control anything? Ah, okay, sorry. No. Ah, all right, there we go. I have given you this paper here that we'll give to our new families, so I thought you would enjoy seeing that as well, with information about Bowie Elementary. So I'm going to go over 3 things with you. The first one is the year in review, just talking about what we've done so far with our School Action Fund grant that is funding the process of becoming a STEM Academy, and the vision for next year, and then the final recommendation of the name change. So this year, we've completed some site visits. So we've gone to Stafford Municipal School District, gone to Burke Burnett, Houston ISD. We've gone through several different site visits to see these programs and supplemental curriculum in action. And that includes project-based instruction, LEGO, Project Lead the Way, which is a supplemental curriculum, youth engineering solutions. So these are different curriculums that exist out there for STEM integration. And we've got to see those in action and also just see what the STEM campus looks like on a day-to-day basis. So that's been an exciting part of our journey as we have decided what that will look like at Bowie Elementary and how we will make our STEM integration meaningful in our community. So the instructional vision for Bowie STEM Academy is intentionally designed so that every student does these 4 things. So masters rigorous grade level academic content. We want to make sure that they are exposed to, taught on grade level, and have the opportunity to master that. We want to develop the STEM fluency skills needed for long-term success. So that includes skills such as adaptability, resilience, communication, all the skills that students would need to be successful in many areas of life, no matter what career or pathway they choose. We want to build those skills in them so they can choose whatever they want to do and whatever they want to be. Applies learning through engineering design process and project-based experiences, so solving problems with a hands-on approach and incorporating what's called the engineering design process, which I'll show you in just a few minutes, into the instruction. And then finally, learns in a supportive, high expectations classroom environment. And that will be fostered through training that we have for teachers and through some research-based, highly effective strategies I'll also go over. So part of our learning framework is the engineering design process. So you can see that on the left side. As you look through there, there's step 1, which is asking the question, and then we imagine, plan, create, test, and improve, and think about the things that you solve each day in your job or at your home, and how many times you go through this process without even realizing it. This is something that we are intentionally teaching our students as they go through solving problems. And those skills that I talked about, the STEM fluency skills, the high expectations, all of that supports, this cycle supports all of that. So we are teaching them this process that will be incorporated into our current curriculum that we are using and some other curriculum that will be supplemental. And our research-based strategies, first teach, best teach. So we want 80% of our students to master the grade level content on the first teach. So these 3 strategies, gold standard modeling, cold call, and active observations, will help us achieve that goal. And our teachers will have specific training on this, and we will model that process and implement that process through our first year of implementation next year. So I've done a few things this year to expose our community, our students, families, teachers to this process. And our students have gotten to experience some different things that they have not experienced before. So I'm going to explain 2 things. So one, we've done a school-wide STEM design challenge. So they had a problem to solve. We did this school-wide, K through 5. So our challenge was we have a lot of treasure that we needed to move across the ocean. And in order to do that, they needed to build a boat. So all of our classes, we had a real exciting assembly with explaining the problem, and then all the classes were dismissed to go back to their classroom and build boats that would carry the pennies across the ocean. So kids were using the engineering design process, so they had the problem, so they had to make a plan for what their problem was, they had to execute their plan and then improve and just go through that as many times as needed to achieve the goal. So that was, like I said, school-wide. So at the same time across the whole campus, everybody was participating in this activity. It was exciting. It was just an interesting thing to see with our kids. There were some failures throughout it, and that's one thing that we emphasize through the engineering design process. It's all part of success and all part of the plan. So that was an enjoyable experience campus-wide. And we also have partnered with the Abilene Zoo to implement a unit through Youth Engineering Solutions, which is one of the curriculums I showed on the previous slide. And with the zoo, we presented with the problem. So the problem was we wanted to provide recreation for zoo animals that was safe and also effective for them. So we did that through creating bubble wands for animals, and they could interact with the zookeepers and bubbles. So this 9-week unit was focused on engineering bubble wands, and the zoo partnership was just something we added on top of that. So the zoo came out. They talked about like how animals interact with bubbles. They showed us some videos and pictures from our zoo and from other zoos across the country, and set the purpose for that project. And then our students were tasked with completing this 9-week unit. So we just finished that last week. The students got to show their parents and families how hard they worked and all the different pieces of their project last week. And then on Friday, the zoo came back, and we presented them with the bubble wands that our students crafted for the animals. And they had to think about, what kind of design is good for the monkeys, the big dogs, the big cats they have out there. So there were a lot of pieces that they had to consider within this project. So it was an exciting time to present that to them. We also presented some bubbles solution to them. And did you know you could buy bacon-scented bubbles or peanut butter-scented bubbles that is good for dogs? And there's catnip bubbles for cats. So we bought some of those and presented that with the bubble wands so the animals could enjoy those at the zoo. So in the next few days, they will conclude their part and show us some videos and pictures of the animals at the Abilene Zoo interacting with what our students created. So it was an exciting project, a great, exciting lead-in. My students were excited about it. Teachers were pumped about it, and it went really well. And it's just a small piece of what we will be doing going forward at Bowie Elementary. So all of this reflects the new vision for our school, and we would like to recommend a new name that aligns with the vision, which would be, I would recommend changing the name from Bowie Elementary School to Bowie STEM Academy. So in summary, before you is an opportunity to consider renaming the school, and we are excited to be a part of the STEM update at the June board meeting, where you'll hear even more about the projects that we have in planning for next school year and going forward at the STEM Academy. What questions can I answer for you? Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Is there a motion regarding Bowie Elementary School?
I move to change the name of Bowie Elementary School to Bowie STEM Academy as presented.
All right. Taylor Tidmore has made a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Danny Wheat. We'll take a roll call vote. Angie Wiley absent. Rodney Goodman, yes. Blair Schrader absent. Danny Wheat.
Yes.
Taylor Tidmore.
Yes.
Cindy Earls.
Yes.
Bill Enriquez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Janae, I do want to say I love the handout. This is really, really well done.
All right, next item is renaming of Purcell Elementary School. Justin Rosenquist, principal of Purcell, will present this.
Good evening, board. Dr. Kuhn. What you're going to hear tonight is very similar to what Ms. Weidman just presented. We are both working through a School Action Fund grant. We're in the same cohort, so some of it will be very similar, and then you'll also hear some differences on things that are occurring at Purcell that are a little bit different than at Bowie. So as was mentioned, I'm going to discuss this year in review for Purcell, our vision for next year, and discuss the naming of Purcell STEM Academy. So again, Janae and I both went on the same school visits together. We went to Stafford MISD and the Harmony School of Arts and Technology. Here we saw project-based learning. We saw Lego education in action. And the one thing I really want to hit on this evening is something that you heard earlier when they were doing recognitions. You heard of the national distinction for Project Lead the Way for Adams High School. An amazing opportunity that we have at Purcell is we are also going to begin Project Lead the Way for our kinder through 5th grade students. And where Purcell is located, how our school is districted, Man STEAM Academy also has Project Lead the Way. So we have an amazing opportunity to implement Project Lead the Way K through 12 in our district, which is something that has the potential to be an amazing thing. Also, Youth Engineering Solutions. What all of these are supplemental curriculums that tie into real-world experiences for our children. So we have looked at ways to align this curriculum with our HQIMs in Bluebonnet and how we can tie the reading of what the children are reading to real-world activities when it comes to building things or looking at different scenarios and situations. The instructional vision at Purcell is that instruction is intentionally designed so that every student masters rigorous grade level academic content, accelerates their learning through advanced coursework, and early STEM focused career and technical education. This will develop the STEM fluency skills needed for long-term success in STEM study and careers. And again, I go back to what you heard earlier with the welding program. Really introducing these aspects to our students at such a young age and helping them learn through different processes to get them ready for whenever they become high schoolers and into college. Our learning framework, as was mentioned, the engineering design process is really something that everybody does every single day. With something is always presented to us, whether it be at work, it could be at our house, anything, something is presented to you and you ask, what are we going to do? When you have that question, then you come up with an idea and a plan, and you ultimately make a decision on what you're going to make or do. And based on the result of that, you can either improve that or continue going on with it. And so this process is going to be implemented across all of our core curriculum as well as our supplemental curriculum in ways just to teach our students the thought process of what's presented to them. And part of that is this first teach, best teach. And there are 10 research-based teaching practices that are instrumental in this process that we're undergoing. And our focus for year one is going to be these first three, and that's the gold standard modeling, cold calling, and active observations. Our teachers are going to undergo some pretty extensive training this summer in what these look like and how to conduct this in their classroom. And we're going to have coaching come throughout next school year on a regular basis in order to monitor and see how these practices are being done in the classroom. Some things that we've done at Purcell this year, one of my favorite things we've done so far was a STEM design challenge that we did campus-wide before the Thanksgiving holiday. I learned a lot from it. We read the book Balloons Over Broadway, and so all of our teachers read this book to our students and learned about what engineers are, the history of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, how these balloons are made, and then every student was given a balloon and some materials, and the problem that was presented in front of them was that you are creating a balloon for a parade and you've run out of helium. So how can you get this balloon to float without using your hands and some sort of device to make it float? The students took a few hours in the day to discuss this. You can see here is a picture of some of them collaborating together in their classroom. And at the end of the day, we ended up having a parade through the whole campus of these balloons. We had music playing. They were walking through. All the other students watched as they went through the school. We've talked about STEM fluency focus, and what this activity really brings out are these STEM fluency skills that are going to be our focus, and that is collaboration, communication, critical thinking, adaptability and resilience, and innovation. And so everything that we do is going to focus towards these fluency skills. And the one thing that I learned the most about, which was really eye-opening to me, was our teachers kind of went above and beyond. They read the book, they did the activity, they did the parade, but then teachers started saying, why don't we watch a Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? And so they started playing the video, and it amazed me how many, walking around classrooms, it would get real loud, and you were like, what's going on? So I walked into the classrooms, and kids, sorry, I kind of get emotional because I couldn't believe it, but so many of our children had never watched the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade before. And so what they were doing is they were cheering when they saw the balloons come by that they recognized and they saw it meant something to them. And so just that real world experience, and then kids go home. And our challenge for them was spend Thanksgiving Day, if you have the ability to watch this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Another thing that we're currently doing right now is our engineering solutions activity. The students have been learning about pollution and recycling. And so they have a 9-week project where they're engineering trash collectors. So they're making these items out of different materials. They're learning what works best in water, what can pick things up, and they're building these materials, putting trash into buckets full of water and seeing if whatever they've engineered can pick things up and clean up ponds. And so we're tying what they've learned in their Bluebonnet lessons on recycling to some more hands-on activities. And so all of this reflects the vision for Purcell going forward as a STEM campus. And I, tonight, would like to recommend a new name change that aligns with this vision and changing from Purcell Elementary School to Purcell STEM Academy. And as was said earlier, we are excited to be part of this STEM journey, learning all of these different things that we think are vital to our students learning in the classroom, especially at the K-5 level. And being part of the district STEM update at the June meeting, we're going to take, I'm going to take what we've done at Purcell and go into a lot deeper and more information really on what this looks like down to the nuts and bolts of things. And so, as I said, I would like to recommend that we change the name this evening from Purcell Elementary to Purcell STEM Academy. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
We have a motion regarding Purcell Elementary School.
I move to change the name of Purcell Elementary School to Purcell STEAM Academy as presented. STEM, sorry. STEM
Motion
Academy.
by Taylor Tidmore, a second by Danny Wheat. We'll take a roll call vote. Cindy Earls.
Yes.
Blair Schrader is absent. Taylor Tidmore.
Yes.
Rodney Goodman, yes. Angie Wiley is absent. Bill Enriquez.
Yeah.
Danny Weed.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. All right, we have one item from the closed session regarding TIA. Is there a motion for that?
Move to approve a one-time payment to undesignated teachers.
Okay, motion by Danny Weed,
Second.
second by Billy Enriquez. Do a roll call vote. Cindy Earls,
Yes.
Blair Schrader's absent. Taylor Tidmore,
Yes.
Rodney Goodman, yes. Angie Wiley's absent. Bill Enriquez,
Yes.
Danny Weed.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Well, wait, before it's adjourned, Dr. King, it's been an honor serving with you on a team of 8, and you've done great things while you've been here in the short time, and our North Star goal is a lot closer than it was, and so thank you for all your work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Been my pleasure and honestly the honor of my lifetime getting to be a part of this team, and great appreciation for the school board, and just want to encourage you guys not to change a thing. Just keep rocking and rolling and doing what you've been doing this whole time. Thank you all for caring so much about Abilene, Texas, and the kids of Abilene. You do a great job.
Now we're adjourned.